could be initiated by which mechanism? And then the mechanism of ventilation and factors that affect breathing. What are the factors that affect breathing? What are the disease or pathophysiology that develop because of them? And also the gas exchange. Son oxygen CO2 exchange بين blood وبين air, بين longer. So gas exchange and the factors that affecting it, and also about the lung volumes and so on. So this is the objective of lectures of today lectures. And you know about the structure and organization of the respiratory system, and you will take it in other module also. So no need for detail here. Only you know we have upper and lower respiratory tract. Upper respiratory tract till trachea it is called upper respiratory tract. Lower down after trachea it is called lower respiratory tract. And each of them have certain function. Upper respiratory tract function here. Jaribabulin, what is the main function of respiratory tract or respiratory system? Main function here. Very good, gas exchange. This is the main function. Another function associated here, respiratory system. Gas exchange. Exchange of O2 and CO2. Taking O2 and disposal or exhaling of CO2. CO2 like a waste product, and the waste product, CO2 body. This is the main function of respiratory system. But is there any other function of respiratory system apart from exchange of gas? What are these? Could you give me an example? Very good, voice production. And there are several functions of respiratory system apart from exchange function, exchange of gas. What are these functions? One of them is voice production, it's true, by vocal cord. Another one is pH, regulation of pH of the body. Basha pH body rekaha. Saliki gay khwen ta chon pH body rekaha. So chemical regulation, there will be chemical regulation of acid-base balance and respiratory regulation of acid-base balance. So respiratory system is also among the systems that regulate pH. And protection. How respiratory system protect you? Of course, there are simply we have cilia, we have hair, we have lining, mucus lining that entrap foreign body, and also there is macrophage. There are macrophages in our respiratory system, in our lung tissue that engulf foreign bodies. Foreign body, you know, cough and sneezing, two important protective mechanisms. For example, when you are coughing in a smoky area, or have bronchi constrict in order to decrease amount of inhalation of this smoke. Common protection and respiratory system. We have cilia, foreign body, mucus that entrap the foreign body, prevent it from going to the much deeper area of the respiratory system, like alveolar. Now we got a bronchial, we got alveolar, if the element is stress element معناه زور وده كديش تخواره وبنا alveolar كان سريع نشة this is it ما هو دوس كده increasing the thickness, formation of fibrosis, and so on. Thermoregulation and fluid balance. طبعا sneezing وكف sneezing أجر فرماديك لا لتوه مجيء زيادة أجر sneezing كف زيادة لكوية عند sneezing وكف فرق كيانها ماشي. Thermoregulation, how the respiratory system causes thermoregulation? Through ventilation. Because you know, the air becomes humid, which can function as respiratory system checker. It can humidify humidify the air. And also by breathing, by ventilation, there will be exchange of fluid to outside. That's why it's also important for thermoregulation and fluid balance. It's important for entrapment of blood clots, يعني جلطي سيتان بس زي جلطي ظلمش لامس يعني we have MI myocardial infarction due to cardiac emboli, and we have also the CVA, the cerebrovascular accident, the جلطي تلابويتش أو جلطي مشبويتش أو ويا كلوتيكا لأنه بسلك زور بشوكا أو استين. This clot will embed inside very small blood vessels, and mostly either in the brain or either in the heart or in the lung. لكامي عم بالي يكتبوا clot نوع أوستيا كجار. باش أجر lung أوستا. Lung has a protective mechanism. It can lyse this clot if it is small. أجر small bit وأنا شيء كشيء كاتو. It has a fibrinolytic system that lyse this clot. But if it is large, it becomes pulmonary embolism. So, lung is also acts as a reservoir of blood during emergency situation by respiratory pump. كهناسة أي pressure يدرسها ببلادك أبا أنيربو شغالة في body. يعني وايد كلا فينا كوا pump يكابو rest of the body. What are the differences between upper and lower respiratory tract function? Upper respiratory tract is the function here. Upper airway, that's it. Which conduction? These are conductive pathways. So for conduction of air from outside to inside to other parts of respiratory tract. But what about the lower respiratory tract? Gas exchange. Lower respiratory tract. Bronchiole, but the bronchiole alveoli, they are participate. The terminal bronchiole and alveoli participate in gas exchange. So their function is gas exchange. And the main or the functional unit of the respiratory tract, what one functional unit? يعني كاركي main function respiration لرواية. لرواية السيناس. السيناس هي السيناس تابع السيناي جمعة كويا. السيناس is terminal bronchiole and all alveoli that supply by the same terminal bronchiole. So this is acidas. This is the functional unit of the respiratory system. The gas exchange will take place here. Exchange of O2 and CO2. This is trachea. Trachea. Look how much. Look at the branching that they have. See the branching here. This is trachea. These are bronchi. Then bronchiole, then another bronchiole, it will become the respiratory bronchiole till reaching here, and there will be from the bronchiole alveoli, the bronchiole kind of now. This part called respiratory unit, but this one is conducting airway. Conducting airway. Attack respiratory bronchiole pale conducting zone or conducting air, because they conduct air and not participate in gas exchange. Yes. Acinas terminal bronchiole and all alveoli supplied by that terminal bronchiole. Alveoli, not alveoli, terminal bronchiole is also participating in gas exchange indirectly. So terminal bronchiole and all alveoli supplied by that terminal bronchiole is called acinas, which is functional unit of the respiratory tract. Okay. Persiare كنا هي وكسر شبيه volunteer بتأيره وي يعني كلام هم بيجوا ترتيب لنشتانه. بس كي يتبايع كبيت ميزانك ما بيفوتيكي. You will fill a balloon with air. Please, all of you, خير عباد وانا كيم كاتكم أنا روح. بس زور باشا دايما بس جاري بوابة باشا محمد إسماعيل دسفر محمد ما ينركش أنا زور باشا سم محمد شيكر fill the balloon with air. What the need for filling the balloon with air? What he need to do? Chicken. Air باشا زور باشا push the air into the balloon. Okay. Air into the balloon. So how we can push air into our lungs?
Inhaling.
Very good. So difference in pressure is very important for filling the lungs. ليه تكون جهاز البريشر كتشيبو؟ يعني أبغى بريشر لا كي زور تبي outside وين ولا inside. شو بريشر كي زيادة؟ خوي فويك. كاتو فورسك بريشر هيك بريشر هيك زور بريشر هيك زور بستنا أو. So outside pressure is more than inside pressure. Inside ما استنا بالونه كده. باشا إما لنا لون معنا. أنا شون how we can push air into our lung. We can inspire. We can breathe without pushing air into our lung. I just push it. أنا كاتا وانت أبغى breathe كده. How you can breathe? Could you tell me? Can we change atmospheric pressure? No. So the outside pressure, which is atmospheric pressure, the atmospheric pressure cannot be changed. So what should we change in order to breathe? Or what should be changed? يعني إما يقارن automatically يقارن. شيء the inside pressure يقارن. So we should decrease or increase the inside pressure. Decrease. Very good. Why? Because we need a pressure difference. We need the outside pressure should be higher than inside pressure. So we should decrease pressure inside our lung. I'll tell you how we will decrease it. بس بحكي لك محمد إسماعيل هيك شتي ترمان بوبكا دس لامي زلان كبر ببزحمة. What will happen to the balloon? It's collapsed. So another question. Why our lungs are not collapsed after expiration? After complete expiration. You do full expiration. استخدم عسيك full بروتا أخير. ما تنسى collapse نعمل. But why it's not collapsed? Why the lung will not collapse? Very good. طبعا دو ايش فيك تبغى عشان سيهو كمان هي. This is one of them بنا. Very good and negative pressure. طبعا ويكشف بزور باشا and.
Property of elasticity.
Yes, but this has property of elasticity. You are true. Elasticity is important for our breathing, but this also has elasticity. But what's the difference between the balloon and our lung? And cheater. Essa base das faz. Ek cheater. أنا عزلنا بقى تسويته كم نعم كم بس. Essa بيمبلن أجر بطال بولا فيتك ده أصلا تبو ياخد كأعطوزه هواي تيانجا فيتك. Which one easier? Essa ونيا كأعطوزه هواي تيان. أنا هم يباسط إنه دواي بتعملون ليش بوينتي كابيس معنا بس تقول توم سورس باس. Okay, so the first question we said we need higher pressure outside for lung to or for our respiratory system to do for us to do breathing. So we need lower pressure. We need to decrease pressure inside our respiratory system, inside our lung. How the pressure will be decreased? باشا أنا pressure لنعلم أنا كم بيتو بوي هواء بتشتغلوا. We need this pressure difference. The atmosphere will not change. Only respiratory pressure should be changed. How we decrease or how the pressure decrease in our respiratory system? شون أبيك أو pressure كم كريتها؟
Increasing volume.
ولا؟
Increasing volume.
Very good. So we will benefit from a law which is called Boyle's law. Boyle's law, Ale? by decreasing volume, the pressure increase. Why pressure change? Pressure of this, pressure air, the pressure of air particle on the wall of the container. Kata taku particle exorter air, pressure لسر زورتره ونیا حتی اکو سایزه کی بچوکی نوا برکوتینی زورتره به container که تو یعنی pressure زیاد. So decreasing volume associated with increasing in pressure. That is why decreasing the volume causes increasing the pressure? Because of more heating on the wall of these particles. Because the size شوية heating زورتره. So increasing volume causes decreasing pressure. Decreasing volume causes increasing pressure. So Boyle's law said in the closed compartment, the pressure and volume are inversely proportional. Pressure volume. John Sud law abinin la Boyle's law. And body John Sud law abinin. How respiration occurs. As we said, we need to decrease pressure. The pressure in the lung should be decreased. How decrease? By increasing volume. How volume of lung increase? Very good. Muscle contraction. So we need muscle contraction. طبعا diaphragm contracted. The diaphragm contracted كرتشيلية. Let them shape or have a flat shape. The diaphragm comes flat shape. It increases the vertical diameter of the chest. The ribs, the external, intercostal muscles, intercostal muscle, external intercostal muscle contract. The contract that she does, Rebecca. I'm sure that's your What will increase? Which volume? Or in which direction? Anterior-posterior diameter will increase. Anterior-posterior diameter of the chest will increase. So the lung increases in volume. When the lung increases in volume, the pressure decreases. And when the pressure decreases, what will happen? The pressure can go up. The pressure gradient develop and air will flow from outside to inside. Bash. That being to the complicated again. Persiare ki tırtan leka. Evutan maslakan çiğga diaphragm ne kadar intercostal maslakan. Amana volume chest cavities yakan. They increase the volume of chest cavity. How they can affect the lung volume? يعني ما ربكان ما يعني ربكية دورة بنت lung. How the lung follow chest? How the lung follow chest cavity or the thorax? شون lung follow thorax? كا follow ربكان كا follow vertebra كا دورة أبي. شيء بكباس يعني كل يعني هل أويا كأبي تبغي كلن collapse نبي. هذا كان قلنا. Elasticity طبعا. We need very good. We need elasticity and stretchability. This is very important. If the lung is not stretchable, cannot expand. But what makes it to expand? راستك أجر stretchability نبي expand ناقة. بس شو يعني تك expand كا؟ وإما lung مصلكان باللung وانيا مصلكان بدرويا وانيا بالثوراسيكي جوايا. شو هاكات؟ هذا؟ Very good. زور باشا. Vacuum تستبع أجر يكي كده عزلنا بس بتعملون what is negative pressure. يكي بيت بس أحمد. What is negative pressure? Do you hear about negative pressure? Negative pressure. بس أحمد يكي بيت ما بيتعمل شو what's negative pressure. أنا بتعمل أنت أستكت شيء. أجر بطلع أبي خط في أمش باكا هر أوكي ما مشتوا. شيء يكي خل يمجيتو هتاكو أقبل أمدو لا بيكانس. يكي بيت بس أحمد. Okay, we have negative pressure here between layers of pleura. Pleural membrane is the membrane that pleura. We have two pleural membrane, visceral pleura and parietal. Visceral, the one that covers the lung. Immediate and exhale in contact with lung. Exhale, contact with the lung. So this is visceral pleura, the inner layer. We have also parietal pleura. The parietal pleura Now بۆشی چی کردووە؟ It's in contact with chest, زۆر باش, with thorax cage. بە diaphragm و بە ڕێبەکان و vertebraوەیە بەستراوە. باشە؟ بۆیە کاتێک کە thorax expand دەکات چێ بێت؟ When the thorax expanded, the parietal pleura will move with it, okay? The parietal pleura, the outer layer, because it's in contact with the thoracic cage, it will move with it. So what will happen to the pressure inside pleura? This space is called intrapleural space, and space intrapleural space because it's between two pleural membranes. Intrapleural space. What will happen when this will move to outside? دور کردنوانه چیه بید؟ ولیم چی لیه؟ increase بکاته pressure چی لیه؟ decrease بید. وقتی negative pressure زیادتره به خود تیرتی. یکی را پرسیارتان او بو وتمان چی؟ وتمان why the lung is not collapsed like the balloon. ما چه lung collapse نکا وقتی تر؟ Why lung not collapse? یکی را پرسیارتان من او وتمان بو because there are negative pressure. There's negative pressure in the intrapleural space. And negative pressure man here later. Now intrapleural space, the two layer between the space between the two layers of pleura, there is a negative pressure. هذه كسرنا ترى. حيث لنا ركعة قصدنا رشة. يعني هذه لنا ركعتان هي بدو. دي كسر فولنتيكا. دي هنا خرسين. Very good. زور باش. Das خوش. We have negative pressure normally between two layers of pleura, which is called intrapleural space. Actually, that is negative one. That's it.
These are two layers of pleura. This is one layer and this is another one. Normally there is negative pressure. Negative pressure. وكو هوركت عودي vacuum يدرس تبي. وكو vacuum. أما أساسي negative pressure. And vacuum هي لبيني cheap between parietal and visceral layer. And the parietal is in contact with the thoracic cage, and the visceral is in contact with the lung. And there is negative pressure in between them. So this is keep the lung expanded. Normally, even يعني لبيني breathing كان إن شاء الله لبيني inspiration and expiration or after expiration. Even after full expiration, there is negative pressure. كواتا أجا full expiration إشكي. شني هواء ثواني بكي تدروا. All volume that you can expire. After that, there will be no collapse of the lung. Why? Because there is negative pressure in between the two layers of pleura that keep lung expanding. Then cheka, pulling yaka. Yani an layer, pulling an layer, and this layer is in contact with the lung. So the lung expanded. This is the negative pressure. That's the part.
شتان سيمبلون بلان بيثار ناتشتوا بوشيو. That's the first one. So this is negative pressure by this propeller. Another cause that why the lung not collapse after full expiration is that our lung containing there is remaining of air in the lung after full expiration also. عشان دوای ئەوەی هەموو هەواکە هەوڵی بکەیتە دەر لە سنتە هێشتا هەوا لە ناو سنتە ئەمێنێ ڤۆلیۆمێ لە هەوا هەیە کە نزیکەی لیترێکە بێ هێشتا لە ناو دەنگتا ماوەتەوە باشە كواتا هشتا هوايتيا وكبالونا كني هيج هوايتيا نميني. We have also another cause behind that. We will take it later. Okay. So we have intrapleural space and intrapleural pressure. You will hear this term, intrapleural pressure. What is intrapleural pressure? Negative. باشا دائم. Pressure كيتشونا negative. دائم كنا -3. -3 in comparison to atmospheric pressure. If we regard atmospheric pressure as zero pressure, in order to make it easy, atmospheric pressure are social 760 millimeter mercury. But if we regard it as zero, to make it easy, the negative intrapleural pressure is -3 normally. عشان لكاتي بيني inspiration و expiration. جوازين يوان أي يقدر خد بيج قالوا what is alveolar pressure? We have also alveolar pressure. Alveolar pressure شو pressure إذا pulmonary باشا أو يترنا بيني pleural اللي ركان. Well, this is in the pulmonary alveoli. It's called alveolar pressure or intrapulmonary pressure. Pulmonary pressure أو يتر pleural أما pulmonary باشا. So when the obedita negative pressure أكيد negative pressure ما normally present, normally exists. Bochi here or dry infinite. This negative pressure might keep lung expanded. What will happen during inspiration? Thorax expand by contraction of the muscle. باشا كاتا تشيله negative pressure تشيله. زيادة يعني زيادة تشيله برو ناقص برو زائد. Negative تشيله why? Because we increase the volume, so the pressure decrease. Pressure decrease and become more negative. At this already negative become more negative. كاتا during inspiration it become -6. عشان لناقص 0 ولا ناقص 6. So by this it pull the lung toward itself. Lung يشتغل expand. Lung كexpand بتشيله. خوي بعدين alveolar pressure 0 يا باشا. أي كلام expand بتشيله. تشيله pressure كي كم زيادة. كلام expand pressure تشيله. Volume زيادة pressure كم كذا. So it become -1. In regard to the atmospheric, 0 atmospheric pressure. But kata kambo, kata there will be pressure difference. Ama 0 ya naqs yaka. There will be pressure difference and pressure gradient, so air will flow into the lung. Air hata lung go. Am jana, madam air hata lung, pressure ina alveoli chile hat. Air hata na yumanya, ziyaka bashokol. Cheaterman here at expiration. What will happen during expiration? Very good, muscle relaxation. Nakati passive expiration. Do we need any muscle contraction during passive expiration or not? No, so basha. Nakati the muscle contraction here. Only a relaxation of muscles of inspiration goes expiration. But in deep expiration or in full expiration, we need muscle contraction. Voilà. Yes, during full expiration. Only, that's what. We have two types of expiration. Passive, the normal one that we are doing, and passive expiration. But I am now speaking and أكم دنبرز أكم وأنا جمع هنا سيقولين أو بيرسم لوجه بتشيبي access تاني مصلي بيانا لوجه بيرسم بمصلي expiration بيه أو abdominal muscle contract very good but in which condition? In active expiration not passive one. The passive is during rest, normal breathing during rest. The muscle of no muscle contract during expiration, only during inspiration. Relaxation of the inspiratory muscle cause passive expiration. Çon. Diaphragm çok değil koy. Diaphragm çile hatı bu peşter. Bilad bu hatı bu xwaro. Abet o dom şey hatı şöyle koy. Çikirt. Rabakaniş peşter. Avani hatı. Eçet o şöyle koy. Çibet. بريشر قطعة السريوي فوليوم كم بيتو كفوليوم كم بو شيء ليه بريشر زيادة كاتو أيه البلد بريشر أدبا زائد يك atmospheric زيرو بأم زائد يك هواء شكل ترى push the air to outside والله يعرفوا برسالة هذا
Voi manca che expande cada voi pressure che dico diciamo la pressure expandato
نقوى expand كا شون
man voi ragazzi fanno exploration da voi expanda ca voi pressure che dico diciamo la pressure
نكاتي expiration expand ناكا ما بس inspiration inspiration هون شيء تو برسالة بوشوي بقول بوشي وان expand كا وانيا شيء أبي تبغي أو negative intrapleural pressure كزيادة رجع
voi expanda ca voi dico manca che diciamo la pressure expandato
نقوى expand كا مجبورة استد أنا تاندي هواينا وأن بطلع ما عندنا
voi pressure expandato
أنا أنا بفضل كواي شو أنا هوايتي أنا ما نيجاتيف تلبو أم لا لا أبي تراكشة ما تبي راكشة إما راكشة إتشون أبي إكسباند كواني إتشون أروات بقى ثوراكسا أبي إكسباند كا يعني كوزي إكسبانشن كي أو نيجاتيف إنتراكلورال بريشر كزيادة أبي ده مور نيجاتيف ماشي أوكي the difference between atmospheric and alveolar pressure is called transpulmonary pressure. جوازي هي لبيني أمدوية أما alveolar pressure بو أما pleural pressure بو difference between alveolar pressure and intrapleural pressure is called transpulmonary pressure. The transpulmonary pressure should be positive always, or we can say the alveolar pressure should always be higher than the intrapleural pressure. هاي ما دائما الناقصة intrapleural pressure دائما حتى لكاتي expiration إشا alveolar pressure زيادة كالتي لا intrapleural pressure حتى لكاتي inspiration expiration إشا ماشي أنا ما راسي So what is ventilation? Ventilation يعني breathing ماشي كمان respiration partially ventilation ventilation هي breathing inspiration and expiration the lung can expand it, increase in volume or contract it. It means decrease in volume in two ways. By downward movement of diaphragm that we discussed, contraction of the diaphragm, and to lengthen or shorten the cavity. But the diaphragm contract the relax the lengthy cavity or by elevation and depression of the ribs. So this will cause breathing. سيري كم animation أشوف كانها وكو. سي كدافرام contract كار بكان شلون أجولن سيري شلون تنيك لانكابيتي زياكا فوليومي and how this will cause inspiration flow of air to inside and to outside. So these are the pressures that we discussed. We said we have atmospheric pressure or mouth pressure. Mouth pressure يعني atmospheric pressure, the pressure outside. And usually we will regard it at zero. Zero يعني حوصل شخصتين. We have alveolar pressure, pressure inside alveoli. It's also called pulmonary pressure. We have pleural pressure, pressure in the pleural or intrapleural pressure, which is negative always to keep lung distended. We have pressure at the body surface also, we have transpulmonary pressure. Why during deep inspiration we need extra muscle to be contracted? Deep inspiration هو بيسيبه muscle زيادة contract. Very good. هو إيه زيادة بشكلنا شون إيه زيادة بشكلنا بيسمى contraction زيادة كستيب كان مبيبلا شون إيه زيادة بشكلنا مصري زيادة كcontract كده يعني بلى very good كاتب فوليومك زيادة كاتب pressure كان كم تبونه يعني ستيبەکانی دەست خۆش دەستان خۆش بێن زۆر باش there will be more negative pressure formation in the intrapleural space and more lung يعني lung بۆی زیاتر فۆڵۆیکا more lung expansion and more pressure gradient and more airflow to the lung کاتی دیپ inspiration پێچمان بە مەسڵی زیاترە کۆنتراکتە بۆی هەوایەکی زیاتر ئێمەتمان pressure difference-ەکەیەکە ئەبێتەوەی هەوا هەڵمژی in order to increase the amount of air that you take we have to increase the pressure difference so here the more muscle should be contract deep inspiration needs greater increase in transpulmonary pressure means the difference between alveolar and pleural pressure that's why extra muscle should contract the kati expiration is what we need extra muscle like muscle abdominal muscle rectus abdominis and internal intercostal muscle these are accessory muscle of expiration so this is the inspiration and stepakana and this is passive expiration passive
to active expiration
Bale.
muscle relaxation contraction
then the best cardiogamy passive
and active expiration
only active expiration need muscle contraction passive expiration no need that's why we say passive no need muscle contraction only relaxation of inspiratory muscle inspiratory muscle relax abeta expiration what are the factors that affect breathing breathing man. There are several factors. The three one is important: compliance, self-extension, and airway resistance. Compliance, what is compliance? Compliance هيك شيء كردي جنجال نادوز بتناد يعني شيء كردي جنجال ميبو compliance بطاطي بلاي compliance يا والله compliance وكو بلاي فولوي أكا وكو بلاي جرالة بو شيء يعني اما وتما بيسمان بالpressure change هي وجهي قبل volume change بيونيا if we need less pressure change for the same volume change يعني أوزور compliance يعني أسانتر follow أكا أسانتر follow pressure change أكا يعني زور بأساني volume long زياو كمكا without the need of great pressure change أو compliance أقدر يكي واو All compliance is compliance is the stretchability of the lung. Increased stretchability or easily increasing in volume with less than change in pressure difference of course. This is called high compliance. So compliance is expressed as the volume increase in the lung for each unit of transpulmonary pressure. Compliance of lung and chest walls about 130 per centimeter H2O يعني شيء يعني هو هل سنتيمتر H2O pressure change يعني هل pressure change يك unit كني هواية تجول volume change كنا به 100 مليلتر عشرة بو هل unit 100 مليلتر This is the measure of compliance milliliter per centimeter H2O volume per pressure The higher the pressure needed to produce certain increase in volume, the lesser is the compliance. يعني أجر زحمة تربو stretchicate يعني compliance يشيلاتو كم يكردو so means less compliance. If we need greater pressure change to make the same volume change that we need normally means the compliance decrease. Let's مش بشان ثاني. We have some diseases that cause increase in the compliance and some diseases that cause decrease in compliance. Ama compliance normal one because man صوت سي per centimeter H2O. يعني بو هر pressure change ويا unit pressure change صوت سي من هواء volume هواء أقوى يعني ينتجوا لي يبقى كده. باشا. Compliance Pemblan compliance زور بها كم بباشا which one is good يعني آسان stretch بالغندك يا زحمة stretch بها which one is better very good normal عادة level يعني شغله بلا stretchability آسان بي أو زور باشا يعني more than normal anything if go away from the normal range is abnormal even if it's increased is abnormal okay so increasing compliance is not good decreasing compliance is also not good so we need a normal range of compliance or normal compliance of the lung what are the factors that affect compliance شو هي كلام كنا compliant بيانا number of elastic fibers in the lungs, self-extension of the lung, and surfactant. That's the self-extension of surfactant شكل لا نحتاج كي دوما. فجالس تريكي diagram بكم. In order to learn better about the compliance, we have an example. For example, say normal can. This one, the blue line, is the normal compliance. Khwarachi x-aga, pressure. Sarawa volume, y-axis is volume change. We say we need a volume, we need a pressure change in order to get volume change. Okay. Kwata, say normal kapkan. Bablayın em amaneve 2 litre hava kena lanmana. Başa? Lang 2 litre havayı tepçe birisi beçi pressure change kaya. Serika. La normal langa 5 cm H2O. Başa eylan langa ka compliance kani kirdwa. Boy 2 litre havayı teka birisi beçi pressure change kaya. 10 cm H. So need greater pressure change in order to take same volume or change the same volume. Așa? Toate pieristi bu că pressure ki zortur bu gore. Voi ki be pressure zortur bu gore voi volume au volume că 2 litre bi katına langa. Ya khote rikata de lala. Toate compliance ki be havzaya kliya chemical stretchability chemical du. It needs greater pressure change. عندما يعني compliance زيادة بسيركي boy 2 litre هواي تكا بيرسي بتشو pressure change هي دوني كاتني on يعني أوي تبدو on زي كماني on chemical but it need 2.5 centimeter H2O in order to increase the volume or change the volume. باش كاتا لما compliance زي لما chemical each yan باشنيا. For example, we have a disease which is called emphysema. مثلا transpulmonary change pressure transpulmonary. Emote one the deep inspiration يجوت one we need greater change in the transpulmonary pressure. يعني greater difference between the alveolar and pleural pressure. باشا؟ Okay. طبعا هنا كاتو greater pressure gradients عين مش كاتو. بلا؟ إيه. لا ما pressure change. Pressure change. This is as an example. This is the pressure change. سبب centimeter H2O شو we have in millimeter mercury and in centimeter H2O. بس يعتبر unit حسابك. Okay. Emphysema. In the emphysema, which is a type of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease here. نامي بخوتي كرونيكا obstructive باشا. Obstructive يعني شيء. يعني decrease in the airflow. So باشا. Airflow كم بيتبع. Bronchial كان constriction كان. شو كبنون تس كبنون. There will be narrow decrease in the diameter of the bronchial. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease have two types. يكي كان chronic bronchitis سكبلان قصبات. أما شرجوري كلو. بكردي ناويني نازم قصبات. أما قصبات نية أما جوري كتريانا. قصبات تماني بلا التهاب بس التهاب يشر. باش. emphysema شيء بيه أوكي سنة يعني. The alveolar wall will be distracted. Seriga. أما شيء this is acinas. And these are acini. There are several alveoli that supply by the same terminal bronchiole. The wall between alveoli will be distracted. So what will happen? There will be formation of a larger space. This makes the lung to become more compliant. Compliance is يعني شيء easily become inflated. باشا زور آسان هواي تأجيد with less pressure change. in comparison to a normal person or healthy person. So the lung become floppy. زور آسان هوای تیجه. They easily inflate or easily expanded. Why this is not good? زحمت شواكيات الدروة باشنية. اشتكي باشنية. The air will be interrupted inside the alveoli. باش. Disease يكي كمان here is the opposite to the emphysema because the compliance decrease. Like what? European blended حالة يكا in which condition the lung become less compliant. Any disease? No. Sibika, less compliant chi? Chiwa akaka lung bash nakshi. Fibrosis, cheater. Pneumonia. Yes, pneumonia is one of the cause. Rastake pneumonia شابت أبوي cheater. شكرا pneumonia أجر severe بابت أتيلكتسيس collapse كالانجا زحمة الأكشير يعني زحمة. When the lung is difficult to expand, any disease that causes difficulty in lung and thoracic cage to expand means a decreased compliance. One of them is fibrosis. Disease economic lung fibrosis. أما لو أنا هنا كيس لو أنا بستفيد كلام نخش الروماتيزمي هي روماتيزمي جمدنا هذا روماتيزمي عامي هي lung fibrosis إيش اللي قال يا أبي lung fibrosis شيء أبد there will be formation of several elastic fiber formation of fibers not elastic fiber formation of fiber and deposition of some material here on the walls of the alveoli and in the lung tissue that make it thick and difficult to expand. Okay, so this is a cause of decrease in the lung compliance. We have another cause, any factor that affect the thoracic cage trauma, or some person who have kyphosis or any kyphosis, scoliosis, abnormality in the vertebra, or due to trauma, حادثة كده حادثة سارية كده رداية كده جوات شبه بابا ويكا رباغاني fracture vertebrae مشكلة. So if thorax or thoracic cage cannot expand, the lung also cannot expand, of course. يعني expand normally. So all these cause decrease in the compliance. We will stop here and I'll give you a break. ساعات دوانزو 5 دقیقه زحمت لیره بود. دوانزو 5 دقیقه